Hello class, my name is Russell Milburn and this is my final presentation on the social effects of data mining for IDS 403, Preparing for the Future. Now I'm sure you're all on the edge of your seats, so let's just jump right into it. So what do we mean when we're talking about data mining? Well, when we talk about data mining, we're referring to the practice of collecting, aggregating, and selling people's personally identifiable information without their knowledge and consent. In this presentation, we'll talk about the social origins and evolution of technology as it relates to the spread of an individual's identity, issues caused by the rise of the monetization of identity, and possible solutions to these issues. So where does data mining, or any other technology for that matter, come from? Well, the evolution of technology and the evolution of human society are inextricably linked, with both actively influencing each other in a great cycle. This has been true throughout human history. Human society develops in response to their environment. We adapt, it's what we do. But being tool users, humans have the advantage over other animals in that we can develop technology to help us resolve conflicts with our environment or to simply change the undesirable parts. The technology that we develop changes our interaction with the environment and in many cases the environment itself. This leads society to change again, adapting itself to the new environment and in turn creating the need for new technological evolution. And on the cycle continues. While this is naturally a reactive process, individuals or organizations with forethought can use it to attempt to force societal change by using technology to modify the environment in a way which will force that change. This process of forcing social change through the introduction of both mechanical and non-mechanical technology has had mixed results in the past. Much of the reaction depends on the amount the society is willing to change and their view of the reasoning behind the change. A good example of a successful societal change is represented by the restrictions enacted for smokers in the recent decades. While this change did negatively affect smokers, society as a whole was willing and able to adapt to the change because the non-mechanical technologies such as regulation and advertisement were able to paint smoking as a credible danger to society which had to be removed. A similar effort, which was less successful, was the prohibition of alcohol in the 1920s. While organizations attempted to paint alcohol consumption in the same lights that cigarettes would be many years later, they failed to account for the depth in which alcohol was a staple in the current society. In addition, the organizers were not perceived as honest in their intentions, but rather as simple religious zealots. This led to a failure in that societal change. One takeaway from these social experiments is that technology can be used for social change. It is just up to the organizations pushing the change to ensure society as a whole understands and accepts the need for change. Otherwise, the change will be unsuccessful. So what does this have to do with data mining? Well, my current area of study and employment is cybersecurity. When applied to the fields of information technology, this cycle of technological evolution seems to be wearing rocket boosters. The speed of technological change within the field of cybersecurity is constantly and rapidly increasing. Every day, new platforms, business goals, and customer expectations drive more and more change in the technological environment. Society adapts quickly, but some elements begin to fall behind. These elements that are left behind, such as information security, are usually prioritized lower because of their generally perceived lower value to society. In the field of cybersecurity, individuals and organizations need to be able to understand the driving factors behind social change and be able to keep up with the technological evolution in order to predict and react to the next change. A specific area of concern for my discipline and many others from business to law is the concept of personal identity. An individual's personal identity is the makeup of their social, legal, physical, and digital identities. It's the who you are, all of the different facets of yourself that make up the real you. As technology grows, more and more of an individual's identity is being required in order to interact with the digital and global environments. As previously noted, technology evolves constantly. So as technology is developed to help facilitate the spread of our identity information, this changes the environment and forces the development of technology to limit that spread. Around and around it goes, and the cycle continues. Technology and society continue to evolve. Now, the spread of an individual's identity has both positive and negative consequences depending on your social group. Organizations and governments collecting the information gain from the process through increased group security and sales, while individuals lose their sense of personal security, privacy, and self. The emergence of the new connected internet and its associated rise in e-commerce, social media, and other digital interactions has greatly increased the amount of an individual's identity information available, as well as increasing the audience for that information. This change in the digital art environment will force a reaction by the multiple social groups. And because of the different societal goals between the social groups, their reactions are likely to lead to social conflict, which will in turn lead to additional technological evolution. The issue that I have chosen to address is the uninformed collection, analysis, and monetization of individual personal identity data through the use of data mining. As we discussed, individuals are being required to put more and more of their personal identity information out into the digital environment. As more personal information has moved online, businesses and organizations have recognized its value as both an information source and a profit stream. As the environment has changed with the prevalence of available identity information, technology has been developed to make use of it, just like any other resource. These technologies are designed to monitor all aspects of an individual's identity and behavior. The data is then collected, analyzed, and sold to interested parties without the consent, control, or even in many cases, the knowledge of the individual targeted. And who is the target of this practice? Well, chances are if you have shopped online, used social media, talked about any particular product in your email communication, the target is you. The organizations conducting data mining are targeting individual online consumers. In general, these consumers want privacy and control over their own identity, but they also want to access online content and services. The average target has varying abilities to understand and prevent the spread of their identity information. In general, however, they are normally uninformed about the situation, as they would likely take steps to prevent the data collection if they understood the process. Supporters of data mining may justify their activities by suggesting the collection of data supports better services and security, and there is no real harm to the targeted individuals. While there may be some logic to the first point, the loss of an individual's identity can have serious effects on the individual and society. According to Nick Bostrom, a researcher in the field of identity, having a personal identity, being someone with a past and a future, and having a set of social identities, being someone to other people, is an important part of the human condition. Limitations to this ability are fearsome threats to most people. As individuals within a free society, we all need the ability to choose which parts of us to display to others, for a variety of reasons. Some members of a targeted population may suffer financial or legal issues if the data is stolen or purchased by an organization with criminal intent. Members of vulnerable populations, such as those with protected medical issues, sealed legal issues, or anyone who has a valid reason to want to hide their sexual or political preferences for fear of prosecution around the world, are all vulnerable as their real identities are collected and sold without their knowledge. This also leads to an inability of individuals to escape from previous social issues, as globalization of the digital environment makes it impossible to make a new start after a condemned mistake. This increasing ability of data aggregators to collect personal data and preferences is threatening our ability to maintain a separation between our public and private personas, and the effects are showing up in the real world. So what happens now? This issue is not going anywhere anytime soon, as there's no indication that the targeted population will willingly remove their information and business from the internet. The benefits are too great, and the affected individuals are small and fairly well hidden. In all likelihood, the future will see the privacy arms race continue unabated. While perhaps not as dramatic as the slide shows, the ongoing cycle of technological evolution as it relates to identity information will continue to produce stronger and stronger technology on both sides of the issue. Like the nuclear option, the only way the issue can be resolved to the total satisfaction of one group is the removal of the other social group. This is not a desirable option for either group, as it collapses the entire system. Something else needs to happen. Addressing this issue will require a non-mechanical technological solution, namely regulation. Regulation that will require compromise on both sides of the issue. Both consumers and data trackers feel justified in their positions, and they're not swayed by arguments from the other side. As long as the data is available in the digital environment, it will be collected, and targeted individuals will continue to fight that collection. To create a compromise, technology can ensure that personally identifiable information is scrubbed and or not collected during the data collection process, leaving only generalized information that can still be useful and profitable to data collectors. Current software collects all information available from the user. Legitimate aggregators remove or protect identity information after the collection. However, it's still available and can be exploited. By modifying the existing data collection algorithms to remove personally identifiable information during the collection process, it will safeguard the data while still allowing non-specific aggregated data to be used for legitimate purposes. This plan would have to be implemented through regulation and with support from industry representatives on both sides of the issues. Data aggregators would help design requirements and verification procedures, while consumer advocate groups would have to validate these procedures and ensure the data protection. While this would be a fairly painful compromise and not really represent a victory for either side of the debate, both sides would benefit from a stable regulatory and legal environment, institutionally recognized control on data collection, experienced oversight of the data collection, and more trust between the social groups. This could ensure that identity technology continues to evolve in a positive way for the global society.